For the first time in my entire life outside of the womb, my body feels safe enough to rest, recover, and release the weight that no longer serves me because I don't need that protection anymore. I am my own safe place. Hello, my friends. Welcome to my new video. If you are new around here, my name is Annie, and this channel is all about me documenting my journey in seeking a cozy life. If you've been around here for a bit, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some of my absolute favorite tools for healing and growth. If you've been around here for a bit and you've watched my vlogs, then you'll know I am very much into personal development, growth, healing, trauma recovery. It's just a huge part of my life. And in the season that I'm in right now, I'm really leaning into the tools at my disposal, the things that I have found that really help. And that made me think I need to share it on my YouTube channel. So here we are. First off, I want to say that all of these things that I'm going to be sharing are forms of self-care, and they are productive. One of the things that living in survival mode most of my life taught me was that slowing down was not safe, self-care was selfish, and doing nothing was really bad and not safe. So when I tell you that the list that I'm sharing with you right now would not exist if I had not gone through so much trauma healing in the last year, I'm not exaggerating. It has been a really long journey to get to this point where I feel that rest is okay. I don't have to earn it. I can rest when my body is tired. I can listen to my body because my body is wise and it knows what it needs. And I can listen to it and lean into that knowledge and wisdom and feel better. It's safe to do that. I also know that we are all in different places in our healing journey. And some of the things that I share may not be things that speak to you, things that work for you where you are. And I completely understand that. I am sharing what I have discovered works for me in the hopes that maybe one, maybe two, maybe a handful, whatever, will be things that you go, yes, I'm going to try that. And then it assists you on your journey. I just wanted to make that really clear because this is not one size fits all. So this is literally just me sharing things that I have found in the hopes that some of you will find benefit. I also want to make a note that while some of the tools that I use and I'm sharing here can technically be attached to various religions, I am non-religious. I practice spirituality, not religion, and I still find value in these things. So just to throw that out there, I have had people ask me, like in real life, oh, you do this? Well, are you this religion? And I'm like, no, let's not make assumptions here. So, and I have still found value in these things. So just a little disclaimer there. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, let's dive in. And the first thing that I want to talk about is meditation. It has been one of the most powerful, we'll say powerful tools that I have used in my journey. I meditate almost every single day, and I do a mixture of guided meditations and sound bath meditations. It just depends on where I'm at that day and how much I feel I can focus on my own. So if my focus is just out the window and I need a guided meditation to help me, like, okay, let's stay on track here, then I'll do that. But if I feel that I can keep my mind on track on my own, then I typically go for a sound bath. My favorite source of meditations, hands down, is Apple Fitness Plus. I have the Apple One subscription, so it's included in that. But even if it wasn't, I would pay for a Fitness Plus by itself. The quality, the variety, it's so good. If you have an Apple One subscription already, Apple Fitness Plus is included in that, and that is where you find the meditations under like a tab in the Apple Fitness Plus app. One of my absolute favorites is with Janelle, and it's like a 10-minute sound bath. It is so good. I've literally done that one over 100 times, because when I am needing like a chakra alignment kind of moment, which I'll talk about later, that's what I do. I've also heard that here on YouTube is a really, really good source for meditations. I just haven't explored it myself because Apple Fitness Plus has been everything that I have needed, really. But I'm sure you could ask around if you have friends who are into meditation and get some good recommendations. The next thing on the list is actually something I did not know existed until a little over a year ago, when one of my friends who's a coach did a mastermind and invited me, and I learned a lot. And basically what I'm going to call it is intuitive development. So if you haven't heard about it, like I hadn't, I had to have it explained to me. I'm sure you could find various definitions, explanations online. I'm just going to look at my notes and what I wrote down of how I see intuitive development, and hopefully that will kind of start you on the right track as far as understanding it. So basically, it is the intentional leaning in to listen to our intuition, which is a powerful tool we often brush off because it may not be logical. But our gut feelings are there for a reason, and learning how to listen to and walk in our intuition can lead to greater freedom and a sense of safety within ourselves because we trust ourselves. So basically, the mastermind that I went through was, I think it was like a month or 6 weeks. I can't even remember right now. And we had weekly meetings and went through various aspects of developing our intuition. It was kind of like a boot camp, if you will. And let's just say that my entire life I have been listening to my intuition and I didn't realize it. And so understanding what it was and that it is something I can trust and develop and use to help guide my life was so empowering. And I can't even, it literally changed my life. So I'm sure that there are many ways that you can get started with intuitive development, but I started with my friend, like I said, who is a coach. I will link her website in the description box if you want to get in touch with her. Her name is Sarah. She is awesome. She brings so many different tools together. And part of the intuitive development mastermind that I went through included chakra activation. It included human design, which are both on this list and I'm about to get into. If you want to get started with a coach who is absolutely amazing at what she does, highly recommend checking out her info. Okay, so the next one on the list is chakra activation / alignment. I don't really know a whole lot about it aside from the basics, like what the main chakra points are and how to make sure that I'm aligned and grounded. Again, Sarah taught me a lot about that and got me started. And honestly, just making sure that I am in alignment and grounded has been all that I've really needed to explore in as far as like chakras. So you can find resources online, but there is a lot of really crazy stuff out there. So please do approach it with caution. And there's also contradictory stuff out there. So again, starting with someone who you can trust is going to be very important. If you have somebody in your life already, great. If you don't, again, I will link Sarah's information below. The main thing that I have found the chakra alignment to be helpful in is in my daily meditation, where I will go through the main chakra points and make sure I'm aligned and grounded. And then I will kind of lean in and see what my intuition wants to tell me. See if there's any trauma work that I need to do. See if there is, any creative idea that I need to jot down and, all of that. So making sure that I am in alignment allows that flow to take place. So I use it as a tool for that grounding, alignment, mindfulness, and it's honestly become a ritual that I do daily. The next item on the list is somatic work or somatic therapy. It's another one I didn't know about until last fall, I want to say, and again, it changed my life. According to Harvard, somatic therapy explores how the body expresses deeply painful experiences, applying mind-body healing to aid with trauma recovery. I would have to say that in the short amount of time that I have been doing somatic therapy, it has had the biggest impact on my life out of probably all of the tools on this list. Even more than intuitive development, even more than chakra activation and alignment. It has had the most profound impact that has actually been trackable with my Apple Watch. My resting and sleeping heartbeat have gone down about 20 to 30 beats per minute, which is the level that it was about 11 years ago when I was fit as a fiddle, playing ultimate frisbee and spike ball and hiking multiple times a week, and as active as you can imagine, working out tirelessly. Well, not tirelessly, but and basically in survival mode with all this stuff bottled up inside me. And my only healthy outlet was running my body into the ground constantly through exertion, through exercise, through doing things. And I was so fit. I was solid muscle, basically. So my resting heart rate was about 45 beats per minute. Lately, the deeper I get into somatic therapy and the more I have been listening to my body and unraveling and healing a lot of trauma, my heart rate has been about 43 to 47 at rest and at sleep. And prior to starting somatic therapy, it was about in the 60s to 70s. And I cannot say enough how much my whole body, my nervous system has benefited from somatic therapy. It has been incredible. And as with all of these tools on this list, there are so many sources online. I personally learned from Dr. Amy Apigian, who does biology of trauma, and I did her 21-day journey last fall, and it was absolutely incredible. So if you would like to learn more about somatic therapy, I highly recommend checking her out. I'll have her linked in the description. The next item on the list is EFT, or Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's also called tapping. It's something that I only just got into in the last few months, and I've really only dipped a toenail in, so I'm very, very new. But I did find an article on NIH's website, and they really explain it really, really well, so I'm just going to read that to you. Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT, is an evidence-based practice which is grounded in the integrative field of energy psychology, or EP, and integrates components of cognitive behavioral therapies, exposure therapy, and body stimulation of acupressure points on the face and body. I found EFT because I discovered Brittany Watkins on Instagram. Her approach is very much from a women's health perspective of how past traumas cause our bodies to hold on to weight that we don't need as a protective mechanism. And I started on her, I want to say like 1 week tapping challenge where she basically takes you through the basics, and I lost several pounds after doing that and have consistently been losing weight that I've really, really struggled to lose since then. Actually, I shouldn't even say losing. I am releasing. My body is letting go because of things in my past. It held on to extra weight as a protective measure, and once I started working on and tapping through that, I started feeling it. And between that and the somatic work and the trauma healing that I have found as far as unraveling those things that have been stored in my body, for the first time in my entire life outside of the womb, my body feels safe enough to rest, recover, and release the weight that no longer serves me, because I don't need that protection anymore. I am my own safe place, and that's what I've learned through these things. So EFT and somatic work has really gone hand in hand for me, and I cannot recommend it enough. And I'll link Brittany Watkins in the description as well in case you'd like to check it out. The next thing on the list is another thing I only discovered this year, and it is acupressure, or shiatsu. The definition that I found online was a form of therapy of Japanese origin based on the same principles as acupuncture, in which pressure is applied to certain points on the body using the hands. In my case, I use an acupressure mat. I'll link the one that I got in the description. It's absolutely awesome. It comes with one of those little half moon pillows. Anytime my body is wound up and I have a lot of muscle tension, or I just need some grounding, I will pull out the acupressure mat and lie on it for like 20 to 30 minutes and listen to a meditation, listen to a podcast, something like that. Sometimes I'll do a sound bath, that kind of thing. So it's been absolutely awesome, and it's really been helping with some issues that I've been having as far as my muscle tension, and having something that helps that on the physical side when coupled with the mindfulness, the somatic work, and all of these things kind of melding together, I have found has been really effective. It's also been helpful for when I have migraines, so just to throw that out there. The next thing on the list is movement, whether that's yoga, stretching, walking, dancing, doesn't really matter, but especially when I can get out and do it in nature, that has been absolutely amazing for helping me regulate and, I don't know, slow down, honestly. Just slow down, focus on how my body is feeling, and really get in tune with how my heart is pumping and my lungs are breathing air, and just really helping me ground in myself. Next is journaling, and I would say out of this list, it's the one I have done for the longest. I have been journaling since I was about 11, and I am 35. So yeah, it's been a very powerful tool that I have used. I don't know, I feel like it actually deserves its own video. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. I'd be more than happy to share some tips on getting started, maybe some journal prompts, things like that. So I'm just gonna kind of breeze through this one, because if I don't, we will be here for an hour. Next up is human design. This is another tool that Sarah actually introduced to me, like I mentioned earlier. And if you're not sure what it is, I highly recommend checking out Jenna Zoe and looking at her resources, even getting your human design chart through her website. I'll link it in the description. Again, there are a lot of different places that do human design. I have found hers to be very easy to understand and not too far out there. So it's really fit well with where I am at personally. And she is somebody who has been in this community for a long time and seems to be very trustworthy. So if it's something that you are interested in, I highly recommend it. It has opened up so much and helped me understand myself in ways I didn't think were possible. We'll just say that. And it has literally changed my life, so I highly recommend. Next up on my list is music. And this is something that has been present in my life, well, okay, longer than journaling. I grew up with a love of music thanks to my parents both loving music. My grandfather was a professional French horn player who introduced me to classical music and told me The Tale of the Firebird by Igor Stravinsky at the age of probably 4 years old. So music has been something that I have always gravitated toward, and as I've been on this journey and really discovering music that helps me reach the energy levels that I want in the moment, I've realized how much of an amazing tool it's been. So whether it's low energy, soft, restful, healing vibes, or high energy, encouraging, motivating vibes, it has been an incredible tool for helping me regulate and get into the zone of whatever I need to be doing. So again, this is another one. If you'd like for me to talk about this more in another video, let me know. I'd be happy to share maybe samples of playlists or whatever for different moods. I don't know, you tell me. The last thing on the list is solitude/quiet time. Taking a moment, or many in my case, and stepping away from the people that you work with, live with, whatever, and just existing, just being. In my case, I unplug from my phone, I turn off notifications, I do things that are offline, and I enjoy just being. Some of my favorite things to do are reading and journaling, of course, coloring, working with clay, knitting, and housework/tidying up. I have found that these things help ground me and remind me that I am my own safe place, that time is so precious, and slowing down to appreciate who I am becoming and the things around me that remind me that I have a good life. You can't really lean into that without solitude, without quiet time. And those are the things that remind us that life is worth living. And it's those moments when we can truly feel gratitude, when we can be aware and be present and fill our empty cup, so that we can then go back out and be around the people that we need to be around and pour into them. If you want to hear more about kind of my journey from loneliness to enjoying solitude, go check out that video. And that, my friends, is the end of the list. I hope that some of these spoke to you, resonated with you. I hope that you give them a try. And if you do and you find something that helps you in your journey, please, please, please let me know. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, stay cozy.